What's going on, everybody? My name is Ben and welcome back to the bench for a very special stash update video. Now I know we'd normally be working on our Faults D3A, but we're going to put a pause on that today because I wanted to take this opportunity to give a big shout out and thank you to my good buddy Kenny over at HobbyLink International. He's having a stash sale right now and oh man, there's some great kits on there and I was fortunate enough to jump on and to buy about 4 things. I'm so happy to have these in the stash, so I thought we'd take a little bit of time today, give a big shout out to Kenny, give a big thank you to Kenny, but also go ahead and show you guys what I picked up. So let's go ahead and check out what we have in our stash, do a quick stash update, and the next episode we'll be back with our Faults D3A and we'll get that rolling. So first here on the bench we have this. This is a Star Trek The Next Generation Klingon battlecruiser. I think it's a Vorcha class battlecruiser, and this is the original kit released by AMT, and I think it came out in like 1991 or thereabouts. And I remember seeing this in my local hobby stores when this was first released, and I gotta tell you, I always wanted to pick it up. I just never got around to doing it. I bought other kits like the Reliant and the other Klingon battlecruiser, but this one always kind of stuck in the back of my mind. When I was going ahead and searching around on Kenny's stash sale, I found this one and I thought, you know what? It was a great deal. I had to get it. Plus, if I have this in the stash, I might be able to come in and do a little bit of additional lighting to it. Maybe drill some holes or whatnot, put in some LEDs. It would be really, really fun. Getting into the parts themselves, we have 2 Ziploc bags. Thank you, Kenny, for containing these parts that were loose in the box. We also have our instruction manual, and I kind of first got interested in these when I watched DS9. These were featured pretty prominently in the Klingon War there on DS9. Of course, we've got our original decals. These may or may not work. I really don't know, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. All the other parts and pieces look fantastic. These are very much similar to what I've seen in other AMT kits from this era. Raised surface detailing, panels, armor plates. We even have a couple of extra parts in here that I think Kenny was working on another project, threw those in there. That's awesome of him. I really appreciate that. So this is a really cool looking kit. And like I said, Klingon battlecruiser, I believe it's the Vorcha. It was re-released, I believe, by Polar Lights AMT, but I never got my hands on that. So I have my hands on this one instead, and I'm very happy. So big shout out to Kenny. Thank you so much for putting this up on sale. And thank you so much for that nice note as well. Next kit we picked up is this right here. This is the Battlestar Galactica from, well, Battlestar Galactica. This is a series that I didn't jump in on initially when it first was released. I actually got into it later after it was already finished airing. And this was a ship model I always wanted to get, but I never got around to it. And I think one thing that really drew me to this is the kind of raw raised details and the exposed paneling. It looks like a workhorse of the Colonial Fleet, and I really enjoyed its aesthetics. But for some odd reason, I just never got around to picking up the model kit. Again, until I was on the stash sale over there at HLI. Check out the detail on this thing. This is awesome. So many raised greeblies and exposed panel lining. We have our areas for our turrets as well as some recessed panel lining for armor plates. It really looks awesome, and I cannot wait to get into this one and build it up. Every single part here is super detailed, and the size is not too bad. It won't take up an entire shelf. It'll be much smaller, much easier to handle. Super awesome detail. And I've built a couple of Mobius kits in the past, and they always turn out to be really cool looking subjects. We have our instruction manual here. We are given 1 set of decals. This is for the landing strips on the inside of the launch bays, so that's kind of cool. But otherwise, the instruction manuals are very typical for Mobius, highly glossy, very nicely printed. It almost looks like a dossier of information about the particular subject. So that's really, really nice. They have some notes and things and what you might want to watch out for, what you might want to focus on, good part breakdown. Now I actually have the Viper Mark II, and I built the Viper Mark VII. I think it was my very first sci-fi episode here on the channel. I never got into the Cylon stuff. There was a Cylon Raider online, so maybe I'll think about it, but the Galactica, I had to have it. I've wanted this for such a long time, and it might be kind of fun to do some lighting on this. Maybe throw some lights into the engines, maybe in the launch bay. I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some research on it. I'm not gonna jump on the bench real quick here. I'm gonna set this aside, do some research on it. This is super cool. I'm very excited to have this in the stash. These are some great model kits. Can't wait to go ahead and check this one out. Moving right along here, guys, our next model kit is this right here. This is the 1/25th scale Batwing by AMT. This is from the '89 Batman, one of my favorite Batman movies. I love Michael Keaton as Batman. This is the AMT re-release version, comes with a free backdrop. I had the original kit when I was a kid and I loved it. I built it up, hung it from my ceiling. I had it actually right above my desk lamp, so when you flip on the desk lamp, it would project light as almost like a bat signal on my ceiling. Yeah, I'm a nerd, I know. But this is a great model. We are missing one very tiny part, but we'll get to that a little bit later. I knew that going into it, so it's not a big deal. But everything else in the kit, though, looks absolutely beautiful. This is an older molding, of course, so we have raised panel lines and raised details, but that shouldn't make that big of a deal because I think we can manage it just fine. I will say that this thing is bristling with weapons. It's got a fold-out Gatling gun, it's got wing guns, it's got nose guns, it's got the center set of pincers, it's got a lot of weaponry, rockets and whatnot. Really cool in the movie too. Surprised it went down as easily as it did. But looking at the instructions, these are different than I remember them being back when I was a kid, but that's okay. These seem clean, seem clear. We have a free backdrop, which is kind of cool. I did mention we're missing one part, and that's this right here. This is the coping that kind of fits over the very front of the cockpit underneath the windscreen. And that is not necessarily that complicated a part. I should be able to go ahead and scratch build that using just some strips of styrene, and then everything else is fine. We can get everything glued in, and I don't think you really notice. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But overall though, the rest of the parts are absolutely beautiful. We have a stand as well. We have our metal rod. The glazings on this are so clean and so clear. We do have, of course, a Batman figure, so it'd be nice to go ahead and paint him up and have him be visible in there. And then we have our decals, and that will also give us a little bit of a window into how the coping ends up being shaped. So that will give us a little bit of much needed information. Otherwise though, everything else here in the kit is absolutely beautiful. We have that awesome looking glazing. We should be able to scratch build that front coping, and then yeah, we are good to go. We even have a stand that's the bat symbol, so that's pretty cool too. It even has clear parts in different areas. We might be able to add in some lighting on this. That would be super fun. And I remember watching Boyd over at Trekworks. When he built this up, he did some awesome painting and he put lights in it. I might try to go ahead and follow suit. You never know. But anyway, yeah, 1/25th scale AMT Batwing from Batman 89. Gotta tell you, I love this model. Can't wait to go ahead and get it into the queue. And last but not least, guys, we have this right here, the 1/72nd scale Star Wars TIE Interceptor by Bandai. And you know what that means? It's going to be a great kit. It's going to basically fall together without much hassle at all. Mint in box as well. So nothing's open, all poly bags are accounted for. And yeah, I am super excited. This actually completes my TIE collection. I've got the TIE Interceptor now, along with the TIE Fighter, the TIE Advance, the TIE Striker. So I am super stoked to have this in my collection. Now, since this is Bandai, we know that this kit's going to be able to be built really quickly, very efficiently. We have a pilot, we have a full cockpit in there as well, so maybe we can add some lights, you never know. It's not a very big glazing though, so you might lose some detail, but everything else looks awesome. We even have a new stand, which we could potentially copy for other projects. I always like doing that. And honestly, the TIE Interceptor is one of the coolest looking ships there in Star Wars, in my opinion. So yeah, I'm glad to have it here in the stash. I just wish that we could get a couple more like the TIE Bomber, maybe the TIE Defender. So Bandai, if you're listening, get on those, man. Seriously, those would be awesome to have. But yeah, 1/72nd scale TIE Interceptor. Can't wait to get this into the rotation. Honestly, a beautiful looking ship and one of my favorite designs from all Star Wars. Kenny saves the day once again. So that is it, guys. That's what I picked up from the stash sale, and I'm really happy with what I have found. But I wanted to give a big thank you and shout out to Kenny over there at HLI. And sometimes, to be honest, you get a little nervous when you start seeing modelers sell off their stash, but Kenny's got some good plans. I know he's going to reorganize things. He's really into 3D printing, and I think that's going to be awesome. It's going to be so much fun to see what he comes up with. If you haven't checked out the stash sale, I'd recommend to go check it out. There's some really good stuff in there. Detail sets, upgrade sets, resin kits, model kits, a lot of sci-fi stuff, but some military as well. I bet you'll find something over there for sure. But that is it, guys. Next episode, we'll be back and we'll get back onto the Faults D3A. I'm actually moving a bit on that, and I think it's coming along. But I wanted to go ahead and take a pause on that, give a big shout out and thank you to Kenny for all the hard work he's put into the channel, everything he does here for the community. Really do appreciate him. So we will talk to you guys next episode for more of our Faults D3A. Until then, you know the deal. Get out there, get yourself some bench time, have some fun, build something cool. Make sure to go check out the stash sale over on HLI, link in the description below. And we'll see you guys back here next week for more on our Faults D3A. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you soon.